11, 11, someone is coming into your life. 11, 11, when this number appears, it is not a coincidence. It is a divine signal whispering that the unseen is about to become seen, that a shift is taking place in your reality. You have been sensing it in your spirit, haven't you? That quiet stirring, that subtle knowing that something or someone is on the way. The universe, or rather the great intelligence behind all things, has already moved the pieces on the board long before you became aware of it. The signs are not here to give you hope. They are here to confirm that the hope you already carry is rooted in truth. Someone is walking toward you in the unseen realm right now, guided by the invisible threads of destiny, and soon the bridge between imagination and reality will be crossed. The moment you see 11, 11, remember, this is not about waiting. This is about aligning. This is about living as if the one you are destined to meet has already stepped into your life, for in the spiritual order of things, they already have the sign of alignment. What 11, 11 really means when someone is coming into your life, when you begin to notice the numbers 11, 11 appearing again and again on the clock, on receipts, in phone numbers, on license plates, understand this. You are witnessing a sign of alignment, a divine wink from the unseen realm, a reminder that the physical world is not random but deeply woven with meaning. The moment you see it, you may feel an inexplicable sense of peace or excitement. This is not your imagination playing tricks on you. It is your imagination revealing to you that something is already moving in your favor. The number appears because your inner and outer realities are coming into harmony, and the invisible process that has been unfolding quietly in the background is nearing its visible expression. You must know that life does not simply happen to you. It responds to you, mirrors you, and echoes the state you carry within. 11, 11 is not predicting your future. It is reflecting your present alignment with the thing you have been inwardly prepared to receive. This someone you have been thinking about, desiring, or perhaps not yet even imagining clearly, is already in motion toward you, drawn not by physical distance but by spiritual resonance. The one who comes into your life at such a time will not arrive through accident or pure chance. They will come because your state of being has shifted into the place where their presence belongs. Imagine a radio frequency. When you turn the dial to the right station, the signal becomes clear, and the song that was always playing is now heard. In the same way, when you step into alignment, the people meant for you appear without strain. 11, 11 is the signal that your dial has been tuned, that you are on the right frequency for this connection. But this alignment does not begin outside of you, it begins within. If you have been healing, forgiving, letting go, or stepping into a deeper self-acceptance, you have been unknowingly preparing the space for this person. Every thought, every inner conversation, every quiet moment of hope has been building an energetic invitation, and now the invitation has been sent. The number 11, 11 appears as the seal, confirmation that the unseen messenger has been dispatched and your request is being fulfilled. Yet here is the truth most overlooked. The sign is not there to make you start believing. It is there because you already believe, even if only in the depths of your subconscious. It is your belief, your faith in the unseen, that sets all of this into motion. You might wonder, but how will I meet them? Where will it happen? That is not for you to figure out. The bridge of events will be built without your control. All that is required is that you hold the state of already having what you desire. Live as though it is done. Wake in the morning with the quiet joy of knowing someone loves you, walks beside you, and supports you even before your physical eyes behold them. Speak to them in your heart. See them in your imagination. Feel the warmth of their presence as if it were already yours. For in the order of life, feeling comes before form, and the inner knowing is always the first proof that something is real. You see, alignment is not about chasing signs. It is about becoming the sign. When you are aligned, you carry within you the peace, love, and assurance that magnetizes the right people into your life. You stop searching frantically and start living from the place of completion. That is when you notice 11, 11, not because you're looking for it, but because you have stepped into the rhythm of divine timing where everything is orchestrated perfectly. The person who is coming into your life is being drawn by this very rhythm. They may not even know why they feel led to a certain place, make a certain decision, or reach out to you, but the pull will be irresistible. It will seem to them as though life is unfolding naturally, but in truth it is the invisible hand of alignment guiding every step. 11 appears as a gentle reminder, it is already done. Trust the process. This is why you must be mindful of your state when you see the sign. If you allow fear, doubt, or impatience to take root, you change the station and the clarity of the signal weakens. Instead, let gratitude fill you. Instead of asking, when will they come? Say, I am so thankful they are already on their way. Gratitude is the language of alignment. It says to the universe, or to the divine law that governs all things, that you are ready, that you have received in the unseen and now await the physical arrival. 11 is not a call to wait idly. It is a call to embody the reality you seek so fully that when it arrives, it feels like the most natural thing in the world. You are not hoping, you are remembering. You are not wishing, you are receiving. And in that receiving, your magnetic field strengthens, pulling the right person toward you with irresistible force. Remember this: alignment does not just bring anyone into your life, it brings the one who matches your frequency. If you have been working on your self-worth, nurturing your joy, and stepping into the highest version of yourself, the person who arrives will mirror that. They will see you as you have come to see yourself. They will not be sent to fix your brokenness, but to reflect your wholeness. This is why alignment matters more than timelines. You may think you are waiting for them, but in truth, you have been waiting for yourself to become the version who can receive them. 11 appears at the moment when that inner transformation has reached its tipping point, when the scales have shifted and reality is ready to match your inner state. So the next time you see those numbers flash before you, don't simply smile and say, that's nice. Pause, breathe it in, recognize it as a sacred whisper from the unseen. You are ready, they are ready. The paths are converging. Let this awareness wash over you and strengthen your trust. The bridge is already being built. The footsteps are already on the path toward you. And though you may not yet hear their voice or feel their touch, in the realm where all things begin, you are already walking together. The sign of alignment is not a prediction, it is a present reality making its way into your physical experience. Trust it, embrace it, live in it now, for the one who is coming is already yours. Creation begins in the mind, how to call in the one meant for you. Before anything in your life takes form, before the meeting, the conversation, the relationship, it exists first as an idea, a feeling, a vision within your mind. The person who is coming into your life is no exception. They do not appear because of chance encounters or random accidents. They appear because, whether consciously or unconsciously, you have already formed them in the secret place of your imagination. Creation begins in the mind, and it is in your inner world that the blueprint of your outer reality is drawn. Many think they are waiting for life to bring them the right person, but the truth is, life is waiting for you to see them clearly in your mind's eye. You may have already done this without realizing it in those quiet moments when you imagine how it feels to be deeply understood, to be seen, to be held, when you find yourself smiling at a conversation that hasn't yet happened, when you feel a sense of companionship even though no one is physically beside you. These are not daydreams without power, they are the seeds of reality. Every time you return to them, you water them, and the more real they feel in your mind, the closer they move toward you in the physical world. Mind is not just a storehouse of memories, it is the womb of all creation. It is where the unseen takes form before it manifests. If you continually imagine lack, loneliness, or disappointment, you unknowingly set the stage for those experiences to appear. But when you deliberately choose to dwell on images of love, joy, and companionship, you give life to them. The secret is this: you are not imagining to make it happen, you are imagining because it already has happened in the realm where all things begin. The feeling you cultivate is the evidence that it is real. The more you live in that feeling, the more inevitable its appearance becomes. You might be tempted to think, but I don't even know who they are. How can I imagine them? You don't need to know their name, face, or history. All you need is to know how they make you feel. The essence is more important than the details. Imagine what it feels like to wake up with the warmth of their presence beside you. Imagine the security of knowing you are chosen, valued, and cherished. Let that emotional reality become so familiar that it feels natural. When the physical person arrives, they will fit seamlessly into the space you have already prepared for them. This is why creation always begins in the mind, because the mind is the only place where you have complete creative freedom. In the physical world, there are limits, conditions, and delays, but in your mind, everything is already finished. You can close your eyes right now and walk hand in hand with them through a place you love. You can hear their laughter, feel their embrace, sense their support. When you open your eyes, though they are not yet visible, the connection has already been strengthened. The inner world is the cause, the outer world is the effect. Too often, people reverse this. They wait for something to happen externally before allowing themselves to feel love or joy. But law is unchanging. Feel it first within, and it will appear without. The person who is coming is not drawn to you by physical effort alone. They are drawn by the emotional frequency you hold. Understand that the mind is not just passive, it is magnetic. Every thought charged with emotion sends out a signal, and that signal attracts experiences, people, and circumstances that match it. When you continually entertain thoughts of love fulfilled, you create a magnetic field that naturally pulls in the one whose presence matches that vision. They may be across the city, the country, or the world. But distance is irrelevant to the mind. The moment your inner state aligns with the experience of being with them, the bridge of events begins to form. A chance introduction, a sudden change in plans, a seemingly unrelated decision, all of these will be orchestrated to bring you together. But it all starts with what you create in your mind. You might wonder why, if this is true, you haven't already met them. The answer lies in consistency. Many people plant seeds in their imagination, but dig them up with doubt, impatience, or fear. They imagine love one day and rehearse disappointment. Next, this sends mixed signals, and the result is delay. Creation requires persistence. You must keep the vision alive even when nothing in your outer world suggests it's working. That is when your faith is tested, when the mind must hold to the picture despite appearances. If you can remain faithful to the inner reality, it will harden into fact. This is not blind optimism, it is the creative process at work. The most extraordinary relationships are not born in crowded rooms or dating apps. They are born in the quiet sanctuary of the mind long before the first meeting. And here is beauty. The moment you create it inwardly, it begins to influence you. You walk differently, speak differently, and carry yourself as someone who is loved. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop doubting and start trusting. Without effort, you become the version of yourself who naturally belongs with the one you've been imagining. This is why the mind is the beginning of creation, because it changes you before it changes anything else. And as you change, your world changes with you. So begin now. Close your eyes and step into the scene as though it were already true. Feel comfort, the joy, the peace. Let every detail become vivid, the sound of their voice, the way they look at you, the little gestures that make you feel safe. Do not imagine it as something in the future. Imagine it as now. Speak to them in your heart. Thank them for being here. Live in that reality until it feels more real than the one you see with your eyes. For in truth, the world you see now is only a reflection of what you have previously imagined. If you want a new reflection, create a new image. Creation begins in the mind, but it does not end there. Once the inner picture is formed and sustained, the outer world must align. The right person will appear, not because you searched endlessly, but because they were drawn to the space you created for them. You will recognize them instantly, not because they match every physical detail you pictured, but because they match the feeling. They will feel like home, like the missing piece of a puzzle you've been holding in your heart. And when they arrive, you will not be surprised, because you have already walked with them 1,000 times in your imagination. You will simply smile and think, of course, I've been expecting you. That is the power of creation. That is why it always begins in the mind. What you hold within you with conviction, the world must reflect without. And so, the person coming into your life has already been formed in thought, in feeling, in vision. All that remains is for you to live in that creation fully, without doubt, until the day comes when the inner world and the outer world are one and the same. The bridge of events, how life will bring you and the one you're meant for together, the moment you align inwardly with the reality of having someone in your life. The unseen machinery of the universe begins to move. This movement is subtle, deliberate, and perfectly timed, and it is what I call the bridge of events. It is the series of steps, meetings, changes, and even detours that seem unrelated at first, but are, in truth, the very path that brings you and the one meant for you together. You will not see the full picture until you cross it, and when you look back, you will realize that every twist and turn had a purpose. The bridge of events is not built by your logical mind. It is orchestrated by a higher intelligence that works through every detail of your life. You do not need to know where the bridge starts or ends. You are already on it the moment you live inwardly as though the connection is real. Imagine a chessboard. You can only see the pieces in front of you, but the master player knows the whole game. Moves are made that make look insignificant or even counterproductive, but each one positions you perfectly for the final outcome. The bridge of events works the same way. You may get a sudden urge to go somewhere you hadn't planned, decide to attend a certain gathering, or strike up a conversation with a stranger, and without realizing it, you are taking a step closer to them. They, too, are being moved across their own bridge, led by impulses, circumstances, and decisions that are drawing them toward you. This is why trust is so essential. You cannot rush across the bridge, nor can you skip steps. Every event, no matter how small, is part of the unfolding. Even what looks like a delay or disappointment may be an essential piece of the connection. Perhaps something you hoped for falls through, only to make space for the perfect timing of your meeting. Perhaps a plan is cancelled, and that cancellation frees the path for the two of you to be in the same place at the same moment. Often the bridge is made of things you wouldn't have chosen yourself, but if you look closely, you will see that each step carries the fingerprints of divine coordination. This is the great paradox. While you cannot control the external events, you have full control over your inner state, and your inner state determines the shape of the bridge. If you maintain the feeling of already being with them, the bridge unfolds smoothly. If you let fear or impatience take over, you may still cross the bridge, but the journey may feel longer or more chaotic. The bridge of events is not about forcing outcomes. It is about following the gentle nudges that arise from your alignment. That sudden thought to visit a new place, the urge to reconnect with an old friend, the inspiration to try a new hobby, these are not random. They are threads in the tapestry of your meeting. The same thing is happening for them. They may feel drawn to places or people without knowing why, and one day those invisible threads will pull you into the same moment. When that happens, it will feel both surprising and inevitable, as though life itself arranged the meeting. This is why you must remain open. The bridge is rarely a straight path. It is more like a winding road with unexpected turns. If you try to plan every step, you will miss the beauty of its unfolding. Think of the bridge as a story being written for you. You are the main character, and so are they. Every chapter is leading toward the moment when your paths cross. You do not need to know the details of how the author will make it happen. You just need to keep reading and trust that the plot is moving toward that moment. If you remain faithful to the vision in your heart, the bridge will carry you without fail. Even now, the pieces are moving, people are making decisions, circumstances are shifting, and invisible connections are forming that will align perfectly in time. You may meet them through what seems like the smallest, most ordinary event, but the ordinariness is what makes it miraculous, because you will know deep down it was anything but random. The bridge of events also teaches patience. You may be tempted to think nothing is happening because you cannot yet see results, but imagine planting a seed. For weeks, nothing breaks the surface, yet beneath the soil, roots are forming, preparing to sustain the life that will emerge. In the same way, the bridge is being built beneath the surface of your awareness. Every day you hold the feeling of already having them in your life. You add another plank to that bridge. One day, without warning, you will find yourself standing on the final step, and there they will be. The beauty of this process is that it often feels like life is simply happening, yet each ordinary event is infused with purpose. Sometimes the bridge may take you through what feels like unrelated experiences. You may be led into personal growth, healing, or opportunities that seem to have nothing to do with meeting someone. But these steps are not detours, they are preparation. The bridge not only brings you to them, it also shapes you into the version of yourself who will thrive in that connection. If you met them before you were ready, you might not recognize or sustain the relationship. The timing of the bridge ensures that both of you arrive not only at the same place, but also in the right state of mind and heart. This is why delays are not denials, they are alignments. And here is the key: you cannot fall off the bridge as long as you stay aligned inwardly. Even if you feel you have taken a wrong turn, life will redirect you. The bridge is built to carry you exactly where you need to go. Trust that every encounter, every change, and every redirection is leading you closer, not farther away. Release the need to see the whole path at once. Just take the step in front of you with faith, knowing that it is connected to all the others. One day, the bridge will bring you to a moment so natural you may almost miss its significance. You will meet them maybe through a shared interest, a mutual friend, a chance conversation, and in that instant, everything will make sense. You will see how each event, each choice, and even each disappointment was a necessary part of this path. And when you look into their eyes, you will recognize something deeper than a first meeting. You will recognize a connection that began long before this moment, a connection you have been walking toward your entire life. That is the power of the bridge of events. It makes the extraordinary feel inevitable. And when it happens, you will know it was never luck, it was never random, it was always the bridge carrying you home, the mirror of your state. Why, the one coming into your life will reflect who you truly are. The person coming into your life will not simply be a stranger who stumbles into your world. They will be a mirror, a living reflection of the state you hold within. Everything in your reality, every relationship, every interaction, is a direct outpicturing of the self concept you carry. This is not about blame. It is about understanding that life meets you at the level of your inner state, not your outer wishes. The one you are destined to meet is being drawn not to the surface version of you, but to the deep vibrational reality you live in daily. If you see yourself as worthy of love, if you hold yourself in honor, if you live in joy and gratitude, the reflection you will meet will embody those same qualities. They will treat you as you have already decided in the quiet of your own heart that you deserve to be treated. But if you walk in self-doubt, if you expect abandonment, if you anticipate disappointment, the mirror will reflect that as well. This is why the work before the meeting is so important, because the state you are in when they arrive will determine not only who shows up, but the quality of the relationship you will build together. Your inner state is like a frequency you are broadcasting constantly. It does not matter what you say with your words, the truth of what you believe about yourself is what people will hear and respond to, whether they are conscious of it or not. The person coming into your life is being magnetized by this frequency right now. They are being drawn toward the version of you that exists in your imagination. If you have been cultivating self-love, practicing forgiveness, and living as though you are already cherished, then the one who comes will feel like a natural extension of that inner reality. They will not come to fix you, because you will not be living from a place of brokenness. They will come to expand and share the wholeness you already possess. This is why it is said that relationships do not complete you, they amplify what is already there. If you are already whole, love will feel like overflow. If you are already secure, their presence will feel like a celebration rather than a lifeline. It is also why people often notice patterns in their relationships. If the same disappointments keep appearing, it is not because life is against them, but because the mirror keeps reflecting the same inner state. The moment you shift the state, the reflection must change. This is not about forcing yourself into false positivity. It is about deeply embodying the truth that you are already enough, already valuable, already deserving of the love you desire. When you live from that place, the person you attract will mirror it back effortlessly. They will look at you through the same lens you have chosen to see yourself through. And because of this, the connection will not feel like a rescue, it will feel like recognition. The mirror principle also works in reverse. You will be a mirror for them. The qualities they have cultivated within themselves will be reflected in how they treat you. This is why alignment matters. You are not only calling them into your life, they are calling you into theirs. And just as your state determines your reflection, their state determines how they will show up for you. This is the beauty of divine timing. It ensures that both of you have reached a place where your reflections match, so that when you meet, it feels as though you have stepped into the same song already playing in your hearts. The meeting will not feel like starting something new. It will feel like continuing something eternal. The mirror of your state also explains why some people seem to lose relationships they thought were meant for them. If your state shifts in a way that no longer matches theirs, the reflection changes, and sometimes this creates distance. This is not a loss, but a realignment. It clears the space for the person whose state resonates with yours now, not with who you used to be. In this way, life always matches you with what is most aligned in the present moment. That is why your focus must always be on your own inner work, not on chasing or holding on to someone. When you tend to your state, the mirror naturally takes care of itself. So how do you prepare the mirror? You prepare it by living as though the reflection you desire is already standing before you. Speak to yourself in the way you would want them to speak to you. Treat yourself with the same kindness, patience, and devotion you hope to receive. Fill your days with the things that make you feel alive and valued. When you live this way, you are not pretending, you are rehearsing the reality that will soon be mirrored back to you. And when they arrive, they will simply step into the role you have already cast for them in your heart. They will look at you and see the version of you that you have already been living as. The mirror of your state is also why self-abandonment must end before true connection begins. If you ignore your needs, silence your voice, or settle for less than you know you deserve, the mirror will faithfully send you someone who reflects that neglect. But the moment you choose yourself deeply, consistently, unapologetically, the mirror will bring someone who chooses you just as fiercely. The reflection cannot exceed the image you hold of yourself. This is not to pressure you into perfection, but to awaken you to the creative power you hold. The state you occupy is not just shaping your inner experience, it is sculpting the outer reality that will meet you. And here is the most liberating truth: you do not need to wait for them to arrive to feel loved, valued, and seen. You can create that state now, and in doing so, you bring their arrival closer. When you see 11, or feel the stirring that someone is on their way, take it as confirmation that your mirror is being polished, your reflection is becoming clearer, and the alignment is almost complete. The bridge of events is carrying you toward them, but it is the mirror of your state that will determine the beauty of what you see when they stand before you. When they do arrive, it will feel uncanny how well they match the version of love you have been living with inwardly. They will speak the unspoken language of your soul. They will respond to the energy you have been radiating, and in their presence you will see yourself not the self shaped by old wounds or past disappointments, but the self you have chosen to be. This is why the connection will feel effortless. It is not that there will be no growth or challenge, but that the foundation will already be set. In the unseen, you will both be looking into a mirror that reflects truth, wholeness, and deep recognition. So as you prepare for the one who is coming, do not look outward for signs of their approach alone. Look inward and ask, what reflection am I holding? What state am I living in today? For the moment your state matches the love you desire, the mirror will bring it into form, and when it does, you will realize that they were not just coming into your life, they were coming into the state you have been carrying all along, living in the end, becoming one with the reality of love. Before it appears, to live in the end is to occupy, right now, the emotional and mental space you would inhabit if the love you desire were already yours. It is the art of stepping beyond hope, beyond waiting, beyond wishing, into the certainty that it is already done in the unseen and must, by law of life, appear in the seen. This is the final and most powerful step in calling someone into your life, not asking when they will arrive, not doubting if they will come, but living each moment as though their presence is a fact. Living in the end is not pretending, it is knowing. It is the quiet assurance that your desire has been granted, and you are simply walking the bridge of events until it is revealed to your senses. Think of it like ordering a package online. Once you place the order, you don't keep refreshing the page to make sure it's on its way. You trust that it's coming and live as if it will be at your door. In the same way, when you live in the end, you trust the arrival of this person so completely that you begin to live as if they are already beside you. You set the table for two. You speak to them in your heart. You feel the warmth of their presence in quiet moments, and in doing so, you dissolve the gap between desire and manifestation. Living in the end changes everything because it shifts your identity. When you see yourself as someone who already has what they desire, your energy changes. You walk differently, speak differently, make choices differently. You stop seeking, which carries the vibration of lack, and begin radiating, which carries the vibration of fulfillment. People sense it. Life responds to it, and the one who is coming into your life will feel it as a magnetic pull. They will not know why they feel drawn to you, but they will, because energetically you are already together. This is the mystery. You can live in the end and feel the joy of connection before the first handshake, before the first meeting, before a single word is spoken. The mind might say, but they're not here yet. The spirit answers, they are here in essence, and essence is the cause of form. The beauty of living in the end is that it removes the anxiety of timing. You no longer look at the calendar wondering how much longer it will take. You live as though it has already happened, and in that state, time becomes irrelevant. Every day feels complete because you are no longer postponing your joy. You are not waiting to be loved. You are loving now. You are not waiting to be chosen. You are walking as chosen. This is why living in the end accelerates manifestation, because the outer world always follows the inner world, and when the inner world says it is finished, the outer world has no choice but to agree. To live in the end, you must train your imagination to be more real than your senses. Your senses will tell you that you are alone, that nothing has changed, that you are still waiting. But the imagination says, feel their hand in yours, hear their voice calling your name. See them smiling at you. At first, this may feel strange, as though you are playing make-believe, but the more you dwell there, the more natural it becomes. Soon, it will feel more real to you than the outer circumstances, and when that happens, you will know you are close, because the inner reality always hardens into outer fact. You will begin to notice small confirmations. Perhaps someone mentions their name, or you hear a song that feels like a love letter from the unseen, or you are suddenly led to places and opportunities that make no sense until they do. These are the ripples of the end you have been living in. Living in the end also protects you from the emotional roller coaster of doubt. When you are waiting for something, every day without it feels like a reminder of what you don't have. But when you are living in the end, every day is a continuation of what you already possess in consciousness. There is no lack, only unfolding. This is why people who master this state often say that when their desire manifests, it feels natural rather than shocking. They are not surprised because they have been there all along in their inner world. They do not say, I can't believe this happened. They say, of course, I knew it was done. But here is the key. Living in the end is not about obsessing over the how. It is not your job to figure out the sequence of events that will bring this person to you. That belongs to the unseen intelligence that governs life. Your only task is to remain in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. If you start to wonder how or when, gently return to the end scene in your mind. See yourself in a moment that would only be possible if they were already here, maybe sitting together in your favorite place, celebrating something important, or simply holding hands in comfortable silence. Stay there until it feels complete. Then go about your day as if that reality is inevitable, because it is. Living in the end also transforms how you handle challenges. If a delay arises, if something appears to go wrong, you see it not as a setback, but as part of the bridge of events. You remember that the end is secure, so the middle cannot threaten it. This gives you a deep, unshakable peace. You no longer feel desperate, because you know you are not waiting for something uncertain. You are walking towards something guaranteed. This is the faith that moves mountains, the confidence that the unseen is more real than the seen, and that what you have accepted as true within must manifest without. And here is the most beautiful part. When the moment comes and you meet the one you have been living with inwardly, it will feel like you have known them forever. There will be an ease of familiarity, a deep recognition, because in a very real way you have been together in consciousness for a long time. They will step into the role you have already experienced them in, and you will step into the role they have already experienced you in. This is why living in end is so powerful. It is not just preparing you for them, it is preparing them for you. The two of you are meeting in the unseen long before you meet in the seen. So as you move forward from this moment, release the habit of waiting. Step fully into the state of having. Wake up each morning and greet them in your heart. Make decisions as someone who is already in the relationship you desire. Let your words, your thoughts, your actions all flow from the place of fulfillment. This is not delusion, this is creation. And creation is not about forcing the future, it is about embodying the end so completely that the present must rise to meet it. When you live this way, you will not wonder if they are coming. You will know they are already here. And soon the world you see with your eyes will match the world you have been living in within. When that day arrives, you will not think of 11 is just a number or a coincidence. You will remember it as the signal that told you the end was already secured, that the unseen had already delivered, and that all you had to do was live in the reality of love until love itself walked through your door. And when it does, you will realize it. It was never about waiting for them, it was always about becoming the one who already has them. In that moment, the journey will make perfect sense, and you will smile, not because it finally happened, but because you have been living it all along.